Hi, my name is Jay Oza. I coach people when with their speeches, and perhaps I can help you do the same. I want to talk about fear when we're giving a speech. And this is something that keeps coming up when I review a speech on the Coursera on demand platform. And especially a lot of people whose first language is not English, they really have fear when they're giving a speech in English or any language that's not their first language. And they feel that they're not that fluent in it. And because of that, they go with that people are not going to understand them immediately when they start speaking. If they're in front of the audience, fear suddenly creeps in. The question is, what do you do about that? The first thing we have to realize is we all have some kind of deficiency. Some visible, some not so visible. I mean, take a look at me. As you can see, I'm bald, maybe a little bit too heavy. All of these things are there for people to see. I can't just pretend they don't exist. Thing to do is get it out quickly. It's there. People are going to notice it. It's sort of like, point to the elephant in the room. So if you have a voice that's high pitched, there's nothing you can do about it. Don't pretend that audience is not going to notice it. They're going to notice it. Get it out quickly. Because the three things you should always focus on when you are speaking is the message, the purpose, and your authenticity. Those are three things you got to have. That's what carries the day. As far as with how you look, how you sound, all of those things, you got to address it immediately and not worry about it. Like, for example, let's say if English is not your first language and you know that people are going to notice your accent. What do? You don't want to say, I'm sorry, English is not my first language. You don't want to apologize. That's just not the right thing to do because now you're bringing more attention. You could joke about it and get it out of it. Get it out quickly. You can say, I'm sorry, but I forgot to bring closed caption to the speech, so you're gonna just have to put up with my accent. So now this is not your apologizing, but you're kind of making fun of it, that there's not gonna be any closed caption that's gonna interpret what you're saying, even though you're speaking in English. I'm not saying that's the joke you use, but there's something like that. So that way the audience kind of says, oh, okay, I get it, okay. But you don't want to suddenly not address it and then suddenly you notice that audience is not paying attention. You think like, oh, it's maybe because my accent is not clear, maybe they're not understanding me. So that's one thing. The second thing is, let's say if English is not your first language, simplify your talk. Make the sentences simple. Make it clear. You may have to do more work, but if you have prepared and you have rehearsed well, you shouldn't have any problem when you are talking in front of an audience. So you've done three things here, right? You have addressed the elephant in the room, and in this case, I'm going to pick on your accent, and your English is not being your first language. You addressed it right away in the beginning with a joke like, oh, sorry, there's no closed caption for this talk, something like that. The second is you want to practice and rehearse and simplify your language. Because if you've done that, then you will be confident. So one is the joke, humor in the beginning. Second is the preparation and the rehearsal. And the third, I think, is the most important. If you have a well defined message, and this is something we have covered using the message hack, if you already have a message that's well honed, well rehearsed, well prepared, and practiced, now you got to make sure that there is a purpose for you to be in front of the audience. What is that purpose? So you got the message, you got the purpose. Be yourself, be authentic. You can't suddenly fake it. You can't, if you got a voice that's, like in my case, I wish my voice sounded like Morgan Freeman, but it doesn't. There isn't much I can do about that. I need to really carry the day with my message, with my purpose for being there, and just being myself. So, for those of you who are watching this, and I know there are many people who take the Coursera course who really, really worry about this. They may be from China, they may be from India, they may be from Brazil, they may be from some Spanish countries, uh, wherever, doesn't matter. Don't worry about your accent. Don't worry if English is not your first language. You just do these three things and you'll be fine. Because you know what? People are going to notice your accent. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a message, you can't have a purpose, and you can't be yourself. Have fun. It's not that bad. And at the end, here's the thing that you got to remember, the final thing I'll point out. A speech that we all think, that we work on, that we think is so important, that everybody's going to pay attention to every single word we're saying. As soon as you're done, they won't know a single thing you said. Because they have life. They have priorities. They got family. They got problems. Your speech is just that brief moment in time. Do not put so much pressure on yourself and blow it when you're in that short window that you have to give your message, to give it with purpose and being yourself. Enjoy yourself. It's not, and even if you screw up, very few people are going to even notice it after you're done. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.